On this episode of Meet the Principal, we are joined by Mrs. Nilima Bagaya, the principal of Livingstone Kolobeng College right here in Block 8, Gaborone. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Bagaya, and thank you very much for your time. How are you doing today?
I'm good, love. And you?
I can't complain. There's really not much to complain about these days, is there?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's begin with what the Foundation of Excellence means to you as a person and as an organization leader of Livingstone Kolobeng College.
Look, I'm an educationist. And education, the foundation of excellence means that you raise the potential of a child to a point where he becomes special. So he or her, we try to work with what their strengths and weaknesses are and bring them to a point where they become comfortable and good for themselves. So they come to a position where they can make an earning, where they have confidence, where they have knowledge, they acquire wisdom. And that's our job, and that is the foundation of excellence, where each kid competes with himself and then acquires that persona which is complete.
So when did Livingstone Kolobeng College open its doors to the public?
2006, 6th of June, 2006 we came over, but my colleague Mr. Gary Wills and I sat in the school for the month of May.
Right.
But eventually signed on the 6th of June. So obviously the school came under our control from June 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay, so that explains when you joined the school, 2006.
Yes.
Okay, and where did you go to school?
I went to school, I'm from India.
Okay.
My schooling was done in India, so I went to school in a state of India called Kashmir, and I went to a Catholic school called the Presentation Convent. That's where I schooled, and then eventually did my tertiary and ended up with the master's in English literature.
Okay, now I'm curious on how you ended up here in Botswana.
So my husband is a technical person, he's a geophysicist. And there was a technical exchange program between Tanzania and India. That's how we left India and came to Tanzania. That was in 1978. We came to Tanzania and stayed there for 2 years. Then my husband picked up, I was teaching, by the way, when he was working there. I was teaching in Dodoma Secondary School. And then we moved to Lesotho, where he was working for the UN and I was working for St. Joseph's for 11 years. And in 91, I moved to Botswana. He had moved a couple of years before, and he runs his own consultancy, and I started teaching at St. Joseph's. I started with St. Joseph's Botswana, Gaborone, and then moved to Lehigh, where I was for 11 years. And after Lehigh, I took a couple of years break. So I'm one of those people that are extremely passionate about education, and I really believe that it's the only tool that actually makes you a proper human being, where you learn that you need to expand your horizon.
Exactly.
The vision needs to expand. You need to understand the world, you need to understand science, you need to understand what's happening all around you, and all that comes from education.
True.
So I am passionate. I keep pushing people into getting into education deeper and deeper. If I have somebody with a certificate, I'll push them to a diploma, diploma to a degree to masters, masters to a PhD. And I've done this with my colleagues and my staff, where I've kept pushing them, and that's my passion. I like doing that, and I think that's essential. So basically, I'm a person that's totally involved with education and furthering education?
Well, you know, I'm one of the people who's not a very big fan of school. I went to school, I finished with my degree, but I think you might just persuade me to go on further. What do you say?
Oh, I would, it's very necessary.
Yeah.
Because also, when we are students, it's the age component. That's an age where you're trying to discover so many things. Then there can be situations where it's not comfortable. But when you're mature and now you understand and now you're getting education because you want it, it's brilliant.
Because you want it.
You want it.
Yeah.
And you make the time for it.
Yeah.
It's no more a punishment. It's
Exactly.
no more a task that has to be done, but something that you actually want to do from within. You have a need for it.
True.
You learn better. You understand better. You are not only observing, you are taking it in, you are retaining it, and you are able to reproduce it. And that is real education.
I think that's very interesting when you talk about wanting to go to school now, because there are some things that I now want to learn that at the time when I was going to school, I really wasn't interested in. So that's a very interesting point. But let's go for a little break and you and I will continue right after this.
Definitely.
Welcome back to Meet the Principal, and on this episode, if you've just joined us, we are joined by Mrs. Bakaya. We continue the conversation on her journey on education and Livingstone Kolobeng College. Let's move on to Livingstone Kolobeng College and how it has changed the landscape of education in this country.
Look, I wouldn't like to take credit where it doesn't belong. I did not change any landscapes. We got into this process with other schools. I mean, Botswana is lucky to have some very, very good schools and a whole load of teachers that are absolutely brilliant and very committed to teaching. So there are good schools around, and I'm one of them. So I'm not changing the landscape. I'm a part of it. I'm with these other schools trying to make a statement that we have an educated community.
Right.
I want the children to understand the finer things of life, which are not finer in terms of richness or money, but knowledge. And we are getting there. We have some wonderful institutes have come up around us, which I really admire.
Right.
There was a time I used to really worry that we didn't have enough institutes which were giving technical knowledge.
Right.
But now you have the likes of some institutes that I really respect is Botswana Accountancy College. Boost has come up now, of course, always. You have Butakenelo that has come with us. I really admire that. Then you have that ADA that's come up for arts and thing in OD. So people are coming up with ideas and spreading this. So I'm very impressed. I see that there is sentiment and people are working on it. And there are brilliant people around us. Together, we are changing the landscape. I'm not doing it alone.
Right.
Together, we are changing the landscape. And I really salute all these institutions. I have very good feelings about some of them, as I said. I mentioned to you Botswana Accountancy College. I have a lot of respect. and I pushed a lot of students towards them.
That's beautiful.
And then of course Botecanello, which is now bringing its own nurses and technicians with medical lab. Very impressive. We are doing things we were not doing some years back, and very soon we'll be self-sufficient.
As a
and
collective,
will not need
yeah.
to push students out to different foreign countries, which we are doing at the moment.
Yes.
Which is fine, because they come back better trained, because they have better opportunities, and then they come back and they share their knowledge. So that's good too. But I don't want to take the credit and say, I changed the landscape. No, I did not. And together with all these good people, we have Marwa Pula, we have Lekhai, we have Al-Noor, we have Busele, Butlale. There are very good schools around. And together all of us are trying to raise the standard of education.
I can appreciate that you, as a collective, are recognizing that the landscape of education is growing and it's not just stagnant and in the same place. So there is hope. So much, isn't
Plenty.
it?
Plenty. As I said to you, because I'm an educationist, I would never denigrate a school and say, oh, no, I'm the best. No, I'm not. There are people that are putting in fantastic efforts. And all of us have made connections, and we try to help our students to get into good colleges, recognize their strengths, and take up those lines for further study. So a lot of good work is happening in Botswana right now.
That's fantastic. So now I'm very interested to know what Livingstone Kolobeng College offers that is different, because I am here wondering why you didn't just stay with the other schools and why you thought there's a need for this special.
And this is a very tricky question, because so you see what happens is in your growth is a process. Yes. And when you pass through certain things and you're working for certain people, there are times when you think that, this could have been done better, but you are not in charge. You are just a worker, you're an employee. You can make suggestions, but then they are not taken. So when we came into this school of Livingstone Kolobeng College, I came in with a few of my colleagues. It's a group of us that thought of, we really want to put money where it should be put. We need to have more laboratories, we need to have better computer labs, we need to have better books, and we need to have a infrastructure so that the children can have better and good classrooms, playing grounds, a gym, have all that. Within every single year, I have created or built up a new thing. So whatever we make, we plunge it back into expanding the school further and further. And today, in these 16 years, I'm proud to say that I have 7 science labs, I have 4 computer labs, I have an art and D&T department, which is literally second to none. I have a rugby field, which is fantastic. I have been able to do what I had always dreamt of doing, creating a school where you have academics, but you have sports with the same passion. It's not that sports is an extracurricular activity. We are creating space for people who will then excel in sports. 7 years in a row, I've been ESA champion for sports. I'm the rugby champion in the country at the moment. And so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of being able to do these things together and being able to create. And this is all because of the brilliant bunch of teachers that I work with. I work with people that are excellent in their fields. And so with their energy, their knowledge, it's easy to sit together and realize your dream.
This in red and white is our men's team.
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars. So they are called the Canon Jaguars. As you can see, that kit we are wearing is sponsored by Canon. We now have 2 generations of kids that they are sponsoring us. Very soon I'll be inviting you to come to cover one of our press conferences where they will be doing the sponsorship, their current sponsorship for 2020. Then what you see here is the schoolboy section. So we have schoolboys. For instance, you see they are even wearing it. Here we were touring Wales, we went to the UK. We went to the UK.
With the school?
Yeah, with the school team. As you can see, I'm here. Mr. Gary Woods was still there. these are my two coaches who used to be there. We were at Swansea University.
And realize your dreams, which are basically just to have a wonderful school.
It is.
Yeah.
I love how you mentioned that you are as passionate about sports, or what in other, or when we were growing up was considered extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Because not everybody excels in the classroom, and
Yeah.
not everybody excels outside and in the sports.
Yeah.
Yes. I appreciate that, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that about LKC as well. So what highlights do you have about the school since you've joined it?
I mean, what every other school has. So what Cambridge is, so we follow the Cambridge syllabus,
Yes.
which comes from United Kingdom. They have the Cambridge thing, and we follow that course. And that they come up with new subjects. So we have been pioneering some of their subjects. Like they came in with the business subject called Enterprise, IGN, and we pioneered it for them. I remember when I was at Likhai, we also pioneered one of their subjects. We have physical education as a subject, and so which people write. We have computer science, we have subject, all sciences have practicals. I don't do alternative to practicals so that I don't need laboratories. We understand that a science subject must have a practical component to it. So it's a hands-on knowledge. So those are things that we've done, and we've tried to get the best internet facilities. I think I was one of when COVID hit, it hit so hard, but I was so well prepared. It took me literally a week to jump into online teaching. I had it up and doing. We started using MS Teams. Immediately we connected with every student. I literally think we connected with every single student except for a handful that moved on to far off places and they had a problem. But otherwise we were on top of our game.
War is upon us. We shall stand tall and fight the evil Quizmaster.
Who is child?
I don't know.
But she was you.
She has no one else. We are not savages. They fight only to survive.
Bad human can kill ape. All dead now for a long time.
We shall bear arms of intelligence. Because we are.
Years from now, your children will ask you, what did you do?
Until they're saying the school is in the mountains, yeah. That's the only school I can see in the mountain. You were saying this mountain is the look, it's beautiful.
You created this. And now, we will bring an end to their kind.
No mercy, no peace. This is war. Stick together, strong.
You have to have done something that is vaguely intelligent.
Smart as hell. You're stronger than we are. But you're taking this all much too personally. So emotional!
I do not start this war. But I will finish it.
The protector of the Nerd Galaxy.
He's a smart one, isn't he?
System activating. All global and galactic participants engaged.
He saved our lives. He was remarkable.
Welcome back to Meet the Principal. If you've just joined us, we are at Livingstone Kolobeng College, and I am joined by Mrs. Bakaya. We continue the conversation to get to know her, the school she works for, and everything that she does or everything that she wants us to know about the school. Let's continue here, Mrs. Bakaya. What can an LKC student take into the world?
I would like to think that the child takes focus, integrity. I'm very, very particular on this word, integrity. The world seems to be very fast going towards people that think it's all about the fast buck, And I hope that the children that we work with here realize that education is education and you take no shortcuts. Yes. You work hard. Working hard is what we give our kids, and we make it comfortable for them. My infrastructure is beautiful. This school is set on 6 hectares of land. I have 60,000 square meters of land on which we are spread. So we have big classrooms, excellent facilities, common rooms where children can sit. I have a resource center where children can go and use their their gadgets, and so the entire atmosphere is friendly and it's helpful. So if a kid comes to me and says that, can we have a classroom open till late? We have created a study team. I give them the keys. I tell them you lock and give it to us back in the morning, so that they can have. The school is theirs. It belongs to the children. So we let them really enjoy and the facilities and whatever there is. So, but that's what they take to the real world. They take excitement, integrity, focus, honesty, and and that openness to absorb, not to shut themselves and say, I've done it. Right. I did my BA and that's my last degree. Because the scene around the world has completely changed. Because standards are changing every day. You need to keep up with them. Even people at my age, we keep getting reminders that you need to improve yourself in this line and that line, and we keep doing these courses to keep improving ourselves. So education has become another thing. It's now a process. It's not like 50 years back, you did a master's and that was the end, and you walked around saying, I did my master's. Now you keep into it, you keep the latest discoveries, you keep reading, you keep understanding. So that's what I want my children to go out with.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What alumni success story would you like to share?
Oh, so many. I just mentioned to you that I have people in MIT, UCLA, Cornell, Lehigh, St. George's for medicine, West Indies, everywhere, China, Russia. I have students everywhere, Canada. I have students that have gone to practically every country in the world, and they are doing extremely well. And they are my kids, I have an umbilical connection to them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
What facilities, you just mentioned what beautiful facilities you have, like the labs.
Yeah.
Go into detail with me. I'm about to go see them right now, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
What facilities do you stand out to you?
Look, because I've taught in other places, and I've seen that there were questions about facilities. There wasn't enough room, the classes were not built properly, or the evolution blocks were not designed properly. So because we were grassroots level teachers, the people that came together to run this place, we had all those things in our mind, that a child needs this kind of support, he needs this kind of facility. We looked into that and we've made this school. So I remember one day, last year or a year before, I was walking out and this young girl came and she patted me on the shoulder and she said, hi ma'am, and I said, hi. And she said, I just wanted to say something to you. And I said, yeah, sure. She said, I've been here 6 years and every year you've had one or another thing coming up, project coming up in terms of improving the physical outlay. She said, I'm so impressed every year So I said to her, you're the first one that has mentioned this to me, and I feel so good. I said, there could be no better gift than a child coming up and saying to you that I'm so impressed that every year you've had something new. When we came in, the hall was like a tool shed, and then we had to put money in and get it. I have a 1,000-seater hall, and fully furnished. It has lights and stage lights, a proper stage, and then of course I told you we have laboratories with the latest equipment in them. We have labs with the latest computers and programs on them. There's internet. I have 100 MB internet going around so students can use their gadgets as well. So a lot to see. I mean, parents should be able to come and have a walk around and see the facilities and compare facilities to understand how good this facility is. Yeah.
Now continue to speak to the parents, a prospective parent who's watching right now. Continue to speak to them. They must come here and see the facilities that they have and decide for themselves. But what else should they take into mind when considering LKC?
Look, right from the first word, I kept telling you that this is not a shoe seller who opened a school to make money. We were teachers who came into this business at a mature age, knowing what we really wanted. What we wanted was to educate kids. That was the focus. So the focus was that, and that's what we've achieved. We didn't want to make money out of it. So I'm selling the same syllabus that other schools are selling, and then I'm so competitively placed. It's like giving you an example. You're selling these glasses for 20 pula, he's selling them for 40, and I'm selling them for 80. That shows you it's the same thing being sold at different prices. And what are you getting out of it? So I'm mediumly placed. I think that's one of my biggest strengths, that we maintained a fee structure which was good for the middle class working parent. Because parents have a lot of issues. They don't have only one child. There are 2, 3 kids. There are other things where they want to spend money. So I think I'm very well placed. I'm doing a lot. We help the kids to get set up in schools around the world, be it Russia, be it China, be it West Indies, be it America, England, Europe, wherever. We do that for kids. We push them. So people should have that confidence, and they should come in, make an appointment and walk around the school. They're most welcome to do that.
That now brings me to my final question. Where is Livingstone College, Kolobeng College located, and how do we get in touch with you?
We are in Block 8 and right opposite Philip Mushaklev. It's a very old government school. Yeah. We are in Block 8. So we are in the airport junction area. That's Block 10. So if anybody doesn't know the school would know the airport junction, because everybody shops there. So we are really close. We are right in the middle of the city, very well placed. We have Block 8 clinic in front of us, which is very well equipped. And you just have to call us.
And that's all we have for you at Livingstone Kolobeng College, Block 8 in Gaborone, Botswana. Join us again next time on Meet the Principal. And until then, thank you for watching.